Hello and welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're going to be drawing this. Can you even see the whole thing in the frame? Zoom it out a bit. We're drawing this. A weird little narwhal. Made him out of Connects a long time ago when I was a wee little lad, and we're going to draw him today. Why? I don't know. I was looking around my room and couldn't find anything to draw. Now we're going to draw it like this, diagonally. And we're not drawing the connects. I meant to say this in the very start, but I'm going to be drawing an actual narwhal, just using this as a reference. And mind you, I have no idea what a narwhal looks like. The last time I saw a narwhal was, I don't know, probably in some Disney movie or something, I don't know. But it's been a long time. I have no idea what narwhals actually look like. So if they have other features that this thing does not have, I won't know. I'm basically just assuming they're kind of like they're just a fish, but like with a magical weird unicorn horn. Alright, there's our narwhal base. I'm probably going to move it down. I should have turned the page sideways. And you know, it's not too late to turn the page sideways, actually. I literally just started the video. I can turn the page. I can turn the page, but then I'm going to have to zoom this in more. There, okay. We're going to draw a narwhal. He's going to look whimsical, and we're going to give him a little witch hat. Yep. Gonna give him a little witch hat. He's gonna be a little guy. He's gonna be happy. Alright. Should I give him a witch hat on top of his narwhal horn, or on his fin, or just on his head? Who knows? Right. Do their horn... I think their horns just kind of point out straight. I want to showcase a decent amount of the horn, but obviously the page is limited, so I'm only going to get to showcase a certain amount of it. Which is fine. Also, that's not how his mouth is going to look. I just wanted to separate apart to show myself that's where the mouth is going to go. Because, well, since I changed locations, I have to do another little body sketch again. Alright, and then... I didn't know if they have fins like that, or if their fins are more... like... more pointed up. I think I'm gonna more point their fins up than like down, but you know, whatever. That's a little too long, but you know, that's fine. I don't know if you'd be able to see his other fin. If so, it would just be like the tip right there, I guess. We'll bring that up. We can bring this out more before we bring it up. Go ahead and just section that off a bit. And do the tail. Get the tail. That's a shitty tail. We could definitely make his horn, put his whole horn on the screen. Because we drew this one a lot smaller than that one. But I also do want to make his tail better, because, well, this is a shitty tail. Alright, let's just quickly do a better tail. Do a flat, then there, and there's a better tail. There's this little body. We'll probably put a witch hat right here. And you know how their horns are kind of spiral and pointy. We'll probably do his witch hat like that, because all their witch hats, the whimsical little lads, their witch hats are supposed to resemble something that makes them slightly different, or something to do with their powers or whatever. So a horn would definitely make sense. Also, this whimsical little lad will not be part of the actual whimsical little lad group. We have a shark already, and that is close enough to a narwhal to where we're not having a narwhal. And you may say, oh, but they're completely different creatures. And I will say, shut the fuck up, you nerd. I don't want to have two things that I think are too close. That's why there will be no fish whimsical little lads either. That's why there's only going to be like one or two types of bird whimsical little lads, which I haven't decided which ones I'm going to choose. But there we go. It's also why I haven't drawn a cat whimsical little lad, because the person who takes care of them is going to be a cat. So can't do a whimsical little lad cat, because that would be wrong. Right. We're going to lengthen this to try to be able to fit the entire horn on the screen. But, we're also still going to draw this line just so I can make sure it's relatively straight. This isn't the final line, so we don't need to worry about if I add guidelines or something like that. Okie dokie. Alright, that's not as good as the first one, because it doesn't go quite as far in. But that's not bad, so we'll go ahead and keep it, because we can always improve it when we actually do the final lines. Because yes, we're doing 2 sketches, because 2 sketches is better than 1. Technically we did 3 because of that one, but we're not going to talk about that one. We're actually going to make his fin quite a lot larger, because I feel like he needs a larger fin, but I also don't know what the fins specifically look like, and I'm also going to give him a larger one of these, which I think this one's called the dorsal fin. I could be completely wrong about that though, so don't quote me on that. We'll just disregard the witch hat for now, because it is easier if I just save that for last. Alright, now what do their mouths look like? Well, I don't know. Considering this is our only reference of what their mouths look like, we could give him a little creepy mouth, but I don't want to necessarily, because I feel like that's wrong, so we're not going to. I want to give him a somewhat normal-ish mouth. It's going to be quite big. He's going to have it slightly open just because I feel like having it closed will just make it kind of look a little awkward. I should sharpen this pencil, but actually using a duller pencil lets me not get too focused in the details because, well, I can't do the details. So, makes him look a little weird. Maybe I should just add a creepy mouth. Who knows? I did accidentally just make him longer instead of moving him back like I meant to, as you can tell. Because I moved the tail back and then proceeded to forget to move anything else. But that is fine. We'll just add his horn. And then add another line on it. And his horn will be spiral, and we'll make it actually slightly lumpy when we do the tinier details. We're gonna lessen this fin. We can actually probably just bring it to its original size. I did want it bigger, but that, after looking at it for a bit, it does look quite wrong. There we go. Go ahead and do that, and that, and that. Now we're gonna shrink this even more, actually, like quite faster. And then we're going to move it back to the old tail location. Alright. There we go. There he is. We'll go ahead and give him a little eye. What if I gave him like a human eye? He's tired. That's not what his eye's gonna look like. I just wanted to do that. But we can go ahead and get rid of all that just to not have to look at it. Right? Maybe it was actually better that way. But obviously we have to erase all the extra stuff. But I'm trying to think of what I actually want to do for the hat, like how I'm going to want to shape it and stuff. So we're going to want to wrap it around him just a little bit, you know. Definitely think I should practice drawing witch hats more because, well, while I can draw them, they aren't quite as good as I want them to be. So I definitely need, it's kind of looking like a piece of poop if I'm being honest. Like the poop emoji, but you know, whatever. Alright. That's completely fine. Even if it does look like poop, I think that would look kind of funny too, so. Alright, here's our little lad, little whimsical little lad. Now, we got to erase it and make the lines a little thinner. Actually finish the tail, tidy up the horn and the hat, and give him an actual eye. The thing is, all these pencil lines are gonna be here for quite a while, as of they're probably not gonna erase. I mean, I could grab my hard eraser and just like actually get rid of them, considering it's right here, but no. I will not do that. We're actually gonna grab lime, not orange, because we've been using orange quite a bit, but we can use lime for this. Alright. There we go. Go ahead and just get it tidied up. I bet I probably could have just done tiny lines if I really wanted to, actually, because I could have just moved this straight to the tiny lines. But you know what? Since I'm not doing the tiny lines, I guess I could do some realistic shading on them. Because this is a good drawing. I do like this. It's not amazing, it's not terrible or anything, but it's a little bland. There's not too much to him. So, adding, I can't get this angle right. Adding adding realistic shading could help it look good. Although he's underwater, so I don't know if underwater shades differently. I have no idea. I'm not going to shade it any differently, so if it does, I'm not doing it, but alright. Kind of went in between those two lines instead of just following it exactly. That's fine. That's a little too far pointed outwards, honestly. Still a little bit too far pointed outwards, but I think we're getting there. All right, go ahead and go like that. Go like that. And whoosh, whoosh. All right. Yeah, whatever. We're just gonna keep that one, even though that one. Actually, no, we're not, because that one's bad. They're all kind of off. whatever. I don't feel like fiddling with it a bunch anymore, but not necessarily how I'd want it, but not completely terrible. Alright. Then we add the witch hat. The whimsical little hat that, for story purposes, gives them their magical abilities. Well, technically, they had the magical abilities to start with, but the whimsical little hats either let them use those abilities, or gave them control over those abilities. Like Bubbles, the shark, the one that will be the marine animal that will be used instead of this one. He can make bubbles of water and go on. That looks really bad. He can make bubbles of water and go on the earth because of magic. And he was not able to do that until he got the hat, so. Yeah. Alright. I should have done what I was doing, just did right there from the beginning. Because, yeah, this is, like, uneven and... yeah, uneven and not the best. Alright, how do we flatten this out and make it look good? Okie dokie. Alright, yeah, see, this wizard hat, it's not terrible, but it just doesn't look that good. And we give him the troubled eye. Why is it the troubled eye? I don't know. I think it makes the characters look anxious. Because that's what they do when you draw an anxious character. Or like when you need to show that they're anxious. You scribble their eyes like that. But I also think it looks kind of good, so I draw a lot of characters with eyes like that. I could have put the hat like going on to this a little bit. Also, I decided not to do the lumps, as you can probably tell. Like on this, it's just gonna have just the lines, so it's not gonna look as good, but it's gonna be a lot less work to do this. And I am lazy. Yeah, but it doesn't look that good, but I'm moving on to the shading now. Just to finish that up. I don't know if they have teeth. I'm just not giving him any teeth. Alright, grab the cheetah. And we're gonna not worry about none of that stuff. We'll go ahead and shade his whole underbody. Alright, let's go ahead and get like this whole underbody. A little bit of these fins. Just a little bit of the fins. And then we'll go ahead and start shading below darker, you know, as we take it up lighter. I accidentally went darker and then lighter down. This is kind of hard to do from this angle, so you might see my knee now because I'm kind of putting it in the camera's length. But we just need to shade, most of this. And then get it lighter. And I want to like have pretty much the whole thing colored though in a light gray. But this, now the angle's different from here. Alright, this, I'm not the best at shading. I only recently even started doing shading that wasn't hatching. So, it's not going to look the most amazing shading you've ever seen in your life. But I kind of am just messing around. Alright, let's go ahead and get a dark underside. And then lighter the farther we go out, but still dark, just lighter. It's a lot easier to do this when the area is not so big. Should I shade this area as dark too? I don't know, because this is like different. It's over this, so I'm not going to shade it as dark. And we're going to get this area even darker. Alright. And shade right there a little darker, you know, because it's got the shadow of the hat. Then shade the bottom of this into lighter. Shade the bottom lip into lighter. Cover that a little more. And shade the hat just a tiny bit. Not like a lot or anything. Just to get color in it so that we can shade under the lips. Right. And there we go. There's our little narwhal that we shaded, and he does kind of look a little 3D now. But it definitely could have done a better job with that shading, but also, like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just messing around, trying to figure things out as I go, really. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. See you next time.